Seen no with the Scoop News. I'm going to cover a couple things. I'm going to cover red tide. I'm going to cover businesses controlling what the media is putting out and possibly what scientists are putting out. And I'm saying this because of this story. I think last Friday I went surfing. I felt like I did today. I went surfing this morning for an hour and a half or something like that. That video up there is from this morning. Small waves, but fun. I got out there and played around. Didn't need a wetsuit. The water felt slimy. As soon as I didn't smell or see anything on land, as soon as I got in the water, I was coughing. My eyes were irritated very bad, and I could smell something. And when I got out of the water, I've been out for about an hour and a half now. My eyes are still irritated. Not as bad as when I first got out. All telltale signs of red tide, or symptoms I associate with red tide, and maybe I'm wrong. If the scientists are correct, and there's some conflict with science, which I'll cover in a second. If the scientists are correct, it's not red tide, so what the hell is it? Is it the pollution from the outflow tanks? Is it the oil platform that's been leaking for 14 years that they're finally going to clean up, that nobody's talking about? Is it the fracking wastewater that Trump has approved dumping into the Gulf? And I'm a Trump. I voted for Trump, but he dead wrong. He's allowing fracking water to be dumped into our Gulf. Not a fan of that. Not at all. Just because you vote for someone doesn't mean you have to like every single issue out there. I don't like half the issues with all these politicians. So, what is the true story? Down here at the bottom, you got the MOPE report, which is today's current. It says that there's moderate respiratory issues, meaning someone will cough every 5 seconds. What's the respiratory issue coming from? We normally think, okay, we associate it, well, it's red tide. Respiratory, it's got to be red tide, right? FWC basically says the same thing. However, and the mode I believe is ran by that one scientist, Tracy. I can't remember her name. You have SNN and the Herald about a week ago putting out that basically that the red tide has lost its grip on us and all is normal. And it was basically a propaganda piece and basically a marketing piece for the local businesses to try to drive up tourism. That's how I viewed it. Why? Well, Herald, SNN, all their media or all their money for their revenues come from local business, just about. I would say over 90%, maybe 100%, I don't know. It's a significant amount because they're a local paper. The businesses have been wanting us to shut up about red tide. Their business is down 25%. The county has been wanting us to shut up about red tide. I played the video. I put the video on here where Dieter, Mayo, and Hines wants to shut up, and they said it's gone. Yet a week later, they had dead manatees and dolphins everywhere again. So was the need for revenue dollars? Did that drive that decision by this Carlos Munoz guy to put out that article and for his editor and publisher to agree to put it in the paper? And they own SNN. I don't know how many of you guys know that. Think about it. Also with the science, they said scientists say this, and which is conflicting because you got Moat with this Tracy lady that's a scientist, and she's basically in charge of this picture I have up there, and you'll see a better one on my website. She and also I'll put the SNN and Herald article out there too, because I like to put all the factual information out there in case anyone comes on and says fake news. That's one thing, it cracks me up. Fake news, that's all they have to say, and they never show factually how I'm fake. Yet when I do my articles and everything, I put all kinds of documentation on it to show that it's not fake news. So it simply amazes me. Anyways, I got sidetracked. Moat, are they controlled by money? Now, a lot of people say they're scientists, they're above board. Bullshit. Scientists said tobacco was safe. Scientists said the Teflon on the pans was safe. Scientists say stuff is safe all the time. Scientists basically will take money and gear their research towards what their investors want. Some of them, most of them are upstanding, but a lot of them go with where the money is. Moat is trying to build a $120 million facility out of Benderson. Moat just got $20 million from the Sarasota County, our tourism tax dollars. They want to make sure they're not pissing off Sarasota County. They need another $100 million or $115 million, whatever it is. I think it's actually $135 million they need. Who are they going to get that from? Mostly local businesses around here, some national. Who don't they want to piss off? The businesses that are losing a ton of money. Influence talks. It doesn't have to be Mosaic. Everyone keeps saying Mosaic, Mosaic. Yeah, I get that. But what about all these businesses that have been saying there's no red tide? Shut the hell up, Frank. Shut the hell up, media. Do you think they're trying to buy influence? Who knows? I'm not saying it's happening. It's something you should always think about, though. There's a conflict, though. I don't know which scientist, Carlos, I don't remember. I got to reflect back on the article, said that red tide's gone. It's lost its grip on us. But if it's someone from Moat, which I'm assuming because that's who we normally talk to, why does it conflict with what Tracy, the scientist who runs this site and put this picture up, says? Just got to ask those questions, folks. And so that's where I stand. And I brought all this on because I've been talking to a buddy of mine, and he wants me to do this business idea. It's actually a pretty good business idea. I can make some good money, and it's connected with Scoop. I do an hour-long show and all that good stuff. Problem is, he asked me something, and I never sat there and thought about it. He said, I'm concerned about how businesses, if they like you, and because it's going to be obviously some business, you need business support in some of this initiative. And I said, never thought about it. Never gave two shits. Don't really care. I put up Adsense articles, so I don't have to sit here and kiss butt on businesses and put out what they want, or I take donations. So it doesn't really bug me. I could care less. I like them. I like the businesses. I Justin. I love Justin out at Sharky's. I'm critical of his dad's business. I don't think his dad likes me because he's friends with Hollick. But Justin understands that I'm putting out factual information. He may not always agree with it because it may not look positive for Sharky's and Finn's and Snookhaven, but he understands where I'm coming from. And he understands that I'm putting out due diligence when I'm sitting there looking at this information and trying to be factual in everything I'm getting out there. And so, it's now I got to reflect on that and see if it's something I really want to do. Because when I met with him yesterday, I'm like, I don't know. People like we ate and made in Italy. He's like, he mentioned them, and they must have reflected back on the time when I said I went there and Pepe just sold the joint to this new owner, and I said the pizza was horrible, the surface was horrible, and never went back there. That was 2 or 3 years ago. And so the bottom line is if they can, if that's a concern, what I'm thinking is if you put out bad reporting or issues, then they can pull your funding and do what many people have threatened me. I've had people say, I've donated money to you, and I gave their money back. I'm like, I'm not here. I'm not to be bought. I put out stuff based upon the information, not who's paying me off. And so now it's got me thinking about it. How apparently a lot of businesses don't like me, and B, do I really want to do that? Because am I just going to become another SNN Herald that's putting out media propaganda for the people that are paying their tab, bringing in their revenue? I don't know. Food for thought. Anyways, I'll put that up. This I don't know if I mentioned it. That is the video of the surf from this morning. I was out there. I did talk to the guy at the time I was in there. There was me, another guy, 3 of us, and those other 2 individuals were feeling the same symptoms that I was. And Moat, I'll put that information up there. It confirms that every 5 seconds, it's moderate level. There is respiratory issues. Again, I don't sense it on the land, so if you go to the beach, it should be fine. I didn't have any problem on the beach, only when I was in that damn water. Amazing. All right, everybody. This has been Francesco Abbruzzino with The Scoop.